Avery Wilson,
Here.
Kimberly James, Melanie Carter,
Present.
Taylor King, Elliot Lawrence, Deborah Patrick, Sharita Sutton. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Right, we will start off with the adoption of the agenda with any additions and deletions.
So, Madam, so sorry. It's been a long day. Mr. Chairman, we do have the request for two changes to the agenda. One is to move the discussion of the Park at Fort Gillem property insurance update, which is item 6 under old business, to after the approval of the minutes. And the second is to move the executive session to right after the conversation about the property insurance.
Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to change as such.
Motion made by Ms. Kimberly,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Sutton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Motion carried. Minutes are approved. All right, approval minutes, we will have the insurance update.
Oh, we got it.
I'm sorry. Okay. Approve the agenda. Okay, okay, we're gonna approve the minutes that we spoke of. Any motion on it?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes. I see.
Motion by Ms. Kimberly, seconded by Ms. Sutton. All in favor? Motion carried for the approval.
Not Miss Sutton.
Ms. Carter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Carter. I should have looked up. Y'all sound the same. My apologies. Okay. All right. With that being done, now we'll move on to the insurance update.
Yes, thank you very much. In your packet, I apologize, it's a big packet, but it is the Gallagher, it's page 25 in your packet. I'm gonna give a little bit of background and history. We do have Daniel Duhart and Matt Simmons on the Zoom call that are going to walk you through this. But as you will be reminded, economic development staff was charged with securing property insurance for the park at Fort Gillem. And we have been working with Gallagher, which seems like quite a while now, in working through all the particulars to get appropriate insurance coverage for the park at Fort Gillem. So we finally have an insurance quote before you, but I'm going to turn it over to Matt and Daniel to talk through the property insurance quote that is before you and allow you an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. So Matt and Daniel.
Thank you, Rochelle, and good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Simmons. I am Senior Director of Gallagher's Public Sector Practice Group. And along with me is Daniel Duhart. We serve as the primary brokers for the City of Forest Park and all development and all authorities thereunder. And as Mr. Rochelle was saying, we've been working through procuring property insurance for the park at Fort Gillem. One of the things that came up along the way was figuring out what an actual proper replacement cost value would be for the locations. That is probably what took us the longest to try to work through, because the replacement cost and the purchase price are not always correlated based on the fact of value as is versus cost to rebuild. So in working through the process, as you see in front of you, we determined a total insurable values to rebuild in today's dollars is about $23.8 million. 22.6 of which would be the buildings, and then we estimated about 25,000 per building in contents in terms of appliances and such for $1.25 million, which brings us to our 23.8. Being that these are multifamily residential homes, the city's insurance carrier, it is not within their appetite. So going out to the market looking for it, we kind of peppered the marketplace of looking for a viable option for this class of risk. And we were presented an option from General Star Indemnity Company for there are a couple of line items here in our financial summary. For the property premium is out the gate $135,000. Payer inspection fee, in terms of they come out and they inspect the buildings, everything, is $650. You have an optional quote for what's called TRIA coverage, or the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, of $77.50. Equipment breakdown and ordinance and law coverage of $15,250. Because this is in what's called the excess and surplus marketplace, there are surplus lines taxes that are not exemptable taxes. I know typically public entities from a sales tax standpoint are exempt. This is not a sales tax. This is an actual specified tax borne in the insurance industry, for a total premium of $164,996. This provides coverage on a stated value. So what we have on the property schedule per building is the max insurance coverage we have available for it. There are a couple of items in that. Any roofs that are over 12 years old are covered on an actual cash value basis. The deductible is $100,000 for perils other than all other perils other than wind and hail. That is a 2% deductible, subject to a $100,000 minimum. And that's a lot of information already. So let me pause and see if anybody has any questions.
So how long is the insurance for? So you're saying the total cost is 164,000, almost 160,000. And that covers for how long?
Oh, it's a 12-month policy. Excuse me. This is a 12-month annual policy.
12-month annual.
It's expensive.
But it's an
You know,
apartment.
if you gotta think about it. Move people in and out all the time.
So the deductible, so if there's anything that happens, we will have to pay $100,000 before they even do anything?
Correct.
Is that per unit or per incident?
So that is per occurrence. So each unit with that is per occurrence. So for example, if you've got apartment buildings that have 4 apartments in them, a fire takes out all 4 of them, it's the same fire, that is 1 occurrence.
And then after the deductible is paid, is it 100% of the remaining cost?
So the remaining, based on stated value being our maximum. One of the issues that we ran into is that there was no true valuation on these buildings. So what we actually did was I enlisted the assistance of a property valuation industry expert to give me ranges for these buildings, because we were trying to get these covered. So to give range of, hey, what would a per square foot cost be to rebuild? And I presented the kind of the dollar bands to Miss Rochelle, and then together kind of figured out, hey, here's, based on the classifications. I think forgive me, it's not right in front of me, but I believe Miss Rochelle, we landed on low income multifamily, which was a band of $140 to $160 per square foot. And so working together, we said, all right, let's land in the middle on it, because short of having an appraisal company come out and actually evaluate each building, we have to kind of come up with our best educated estimation for it. And that was a requirement. We have to get proper valuation for the insurance marketplace. And so we kind of worked together to figure out what's our best possible estimate. So we went with $150 per square foot. So, outside, short of getting an independent property valuation done, that's where we are to get coverage on the buildings. because the key was let's get the buildings insured.
Any more questions? You spoke about value as is versus cost to rebuild. Do you have what numbers are those? I don't have those in front of me. Is that something you guys have in front of you right now?
Can you repeat the question?
I said you spoke about value as is versus cost to rebuild.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Yes, excuse me. Here's a better way to put it: market value versus replacement cost. So these buildings, if I'm not mistaken, are built in 1940. They're older buildings. Because so we had a document, because everything we were going off of was the information that was able to be provided, and we had a document from, I think from, and Michelle, you can provide some clarity on this. I believe it was from the purchase from the prior owners, that kind of did a land valuation for the purchase of the park at Fort Gillem. Am I remembering this accurately?
Right. So there was a very dated, and
Yes.
not complete, but a very dated appraisal of the park at Fort Gillem. It's probably about 10 years old now.
Yeah, and so at the time, if I'm not mistaken, it said about $6.5 million to purchase
Correct.
the park at Fort Gillem.
Correct.
And so a lot of that value is in the land, and then based on, hey, what's the the quality of the apartments, this, that, and the other. And so what you run into is, I mean, let's use let's use an example of you buy a really, really old house, which is what we're talking about, right? Really, really old house. You might buy it and it's got, and we do this based on not knowing, hey, do we have, you know, you know, stainless steel appliances or quartz countertops or what have you, or hardwoods or this, that, and the other. But we say, what would it cost? What we buy it for is not necessarily what it would cost to rebuild it, because the cost of materials and the actual value of the buildings may differ greatly from the actual, like, if one burns down, we have to rebuild it today. The actual materials to rebuild it, like for like, are likely to cost more than the actual market value of the buildings, based on the concept of, is it an updated house, is it old, outdated house, those kind of factors. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Matt, do you
sometimes I go
also,
stream of conscious, so I like to make sure
no,
I'm making sense.
Matt, do you also want to talk about some of the restrictions that were placed about it needing
Yes.
to
Yep.
talk
So
about
that's
that?
that's where I had paused, because I was getting down a lot of information. There are also a couple of warranties. We were able to have the warranty requiring automatic sprinklers removed, because that was going to be a sticking point, because it was confirmed that there are not automatic
There are no
sprinklers in those apartments.
Correct.
So we had that removed. There are also, if you want to scroll down the document so everyone else can see it, there are three other primary ones that stand out. Of the residential buildings must be at least 70% occupied throughout the policy period. This is a part of, they want to make sure that there are people there, so that if something does go awry, somebody can call 911. There's a warranty restricting the type of circuit breakers. I am not an electrician or electrical engineer, but my gut tells me it has to do with, based on issues that the market has seen in the past with these types of circuit breakers. And the other one, it was that no outdoor cooking within 10 feet of the insured premises. So if somebody's gonna, cook some burgers, go outside, cook some burgers on a Coleman or a Weber grill, it has to be greater than 10 feet, and that is a fire hazard, obviously. So they want anything like that so that the buildings can't catch on fire, potentially from some sort of grilling or barbecuing. And these are all things that the market's put in place to, again, kind of secure their investment, limit the exposure, limit the chance for risk.
Only got this.
And the other thing that I want to mention on this is a quote based on if we were going to rebuild the buildings.
So Matt, I know that, excuse me, I know that you had a time limit. I wanted to be respectful
I
of your,
appreciate that. It's back to school night.
no, it's back to school. So, are there any other questions, for Matt before he has to depart?
Any other questions?
There would need to be a motion
Mhm.
to approve
To approve.
coverage.
Okay.
And please don't let my timing force you guys into a decision at this moment. I've got a couple more minutes. I appreciate y'all being willing to move it up on the agenda so I can learn about kindergarten for this year.
Hi, Matt. I have a question. Is there a penalty if we cancel the insurance prematurely?
There is, I believe, and forgive me, here it is. I've got the whole thing. I believe that there is a 35, I believe, and let me check it. I believe there's a 35% minimum earned premium. Yep, there's a minimum premium. If you look at page 6 of the proposal, this is just a very simplified summary. We provided a full proposal with all terms and conditions. So yeah, so scroll down this to numbered page 6. Keep on going. There we go. All right. So in the premium exposures, I think you got it right there. Yep. Go down to the next page, I think. Or yeah, I think you're looking at it right there. Oh, back up. Go back up. Yeah, scroll back up to 6. So the equipment breakdown is 100% earned. So the 15, it'd be like 15,250. There is the surplus lines taxes on it. But if you scroll up to the page above. Number 6. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see in that below the second gray tab, the minimum type, minimum earned premium, minimum amount, 35%. So there is a 35% minimum earned premium. So for example, let's say you put it in place and you cancel it in 2 months. So less than 35% through the policy period. There's a minimum earned premium of 35%. From there would be a calculation for a short-term cancellation, but anything prior to 35% of the 12-month period, there would be that is a minimum. So that would be your penalty from a minimum earned. And then outside of that, there's generally it's generally, I believe, 20% of unearned premium. So unearned premium. So theoretically, throughout the 12 months, the premium is being earned, every month, 1/12 every month is kind of the concept. So there is an industry standard of, I believe it is 20% on any unearned premium. So simple math, let's say there was unearned premium of $10,000. Your return premium would be calculated to roughly $8,000 in that scenario because there'd be a $2,000 short rate penalty. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Hey. Step to the mic.
Yes, Dr. Mike said.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Carl Gefkin. I'm finishing up my 4th week as city manager here at Forest Park. Just a quick question. The deductible is $100,000 per occurrence except for wind, storms, and hail damage?
Correct.
at which point it's 2%. So if
Yeah.
if a building's more than 5 million, the deductible will be higher.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that there's a couple of reasons that the construction of the buildings, and also that's something that we're just it is big. It is I don't even want to call it a growing trend anymore. It is more of a standard in the insurance market today. Of wind and hail exposures have been increasing over the years, and so many not just public entities, but many companies around based on construction type, based on their location, are seeing these percentage deductibles. So yeah, so that would be correct. So effectively, yeah, and you bring up a good point. I believe that when we look
So
at
if we had a total loss of
these
$22
buildings
million,
getting,
there'd be a $440,000 deductible required. 2% of 22 million.
yes, but it will be applied per occurrence, so per building. So effectively what we're looking at is all your buildings are effectively at $100,000 because none of them rise above, if I remember correctly, $5 million as a single building.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yep. A great question.
So my final question, Mr. Chair. So my final question would be, just comparatively, I know we're kind of in a bad place with, trying to insure it because it hasn't been insured for so long. But have we compared it with any other companies, or this is kind of the best deal we're getting?
And so we went out to a lot of them, and a few others said they wouldn't be able to improve upon these terms. Here's one of the other issues that we have going for us. There are no loss runs. There's no lot. We're not able to provide any sort of loss history to the market. We have very limited information based on the ability to obtain from the prior owners. So we don't have any of that information. Whereas traditionally, we'd be providing 5 years of loss history. So they'd be able to say, okay, look, there haven't been any wind damages or hail damages or fires or this, that, or the other. So we've got very basic information, which has been one of the most difficult parts about this placement, because we can't provide what we would typically for any other, again, any other, company that's been around or municipality that's been around for a while. There's going to be insurance history and loss history. So we don't have any of that to be able to provide to the markets. But we did go out and look at, and there was another company, RSUI, that was looking at it, and their response was, we will not be able to improve upon the GenStar option.
Any more questions, anybody? So, we ready to make a motion on this?
I am. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve.
We not approve. So there's already.
Motion on the table, so.
There's a second.
Is there a second?
So can I explain? Because I'm sorry. Discussion, okay. So make a
Any
second so we can
second?
discuss. Ain't vote yet.
I second.
Okay.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Kimberly, seconded by Ms. Patrick. Any
So,
questions?
so my discussion would be, we are not insured at this point. We're not insured at all. So we have, right, but we own it now. So it's on us now. So if we don't do this, then what we gonna do? That's my comment.
Okay, that's my comment too. What are we gonna do?
I got you.
Yeah, like what are we gonna do?
Well, I mean,
We going back and forth.
we have to be insured.
I get that, but I'm trying to figure out what point do we to where from the retreat.
Right, so I know what you're saying about building. That is still a process, but even in that process, we have to be insured.
Yeah, we're still in that process.
Why I asked what was the
Yeah, you wanna.
The cancellation is.
penalty, because in my,
That was a great question.
we don't own this for the next 12 months and see through the fruition of the policy. So I do agree, we do need to be insured because things happen, and if it's covered by the insurance, that means that there's a greater possibility that we would spend more money than the insurance liabilities. And we do, like, as of now, we own it, whether we like it or not, and so we have to be mindful of the costs that are associated with being the owners of it. I just want us all to still be making sure that we're working on a plan to not own it, but being that I would second the motion to, or I the motion to go ahead and insure it, and if this is our best quote, it's what it is.
Are you
Call
second?
for the question, call for the question.
Have a,
Is there further?
have a motion, it's properly seconded.
Oh, seconded by me. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion accepted. All opposed?
We do a roll
We
call.
do a roll call.
Avery Wilson,
Here. I mean,
yay or
aye.
nay? Kimberly James,
Can I have that?
Melanie Carter, yay or nay? Taylor King, Deborah Patrick, Sharita Sutton,
Aye.
All right. The ayes have it with one no vote. Motion carried. All in favor? We've done it. Okay, okay. Next,
Mike.
agenda
Matt
item, we
and
got,
Daniel, thank you so very much.
we're
Matt,
going
good
to-
luck with
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Very well.
All right.
All right.
So we do have, we're going to go into executive session.
I move
Or-
that we go into executive session, personnel litigation, real estate matters. Seconded by Ms. Kimberly. All in favor?
Welcome back.
Aye. We're gonna have it out here, or we're going to say,
We can stay right here.
stay right here.
Yeah. Yep. Back, don't go far.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, who made the motion for exec?
I gotta get some more of what she said.
Yes.
And then okay. I make a motion to come out of executive session into regular session. Seconded by Ms. Kimberly. All in favor? Aye. I make a motion for a quick recess, 5 minutes. Seconded by Ms. Kimberly. All in favor? To purchase sales agreement with Amazing Grace Rural Outreach to acquire 260 Forest Parkway for 3.3 million and to authorize chairman to execute all documents related thereunto.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Kimberly. All in favor? All right, any discussion? Motion carries. Really? Really?
You get the second.
I thought I read. Yeah, I thought I read something different. Yeah, you're right. All right,
Chairman, we're gonna pick back up with
the next,
your agenda, starting with public comments.
okay,
We don't have any.
we don't have any public comments. Do we have a legal update? All right, our next agenda item is gonna be financial update, July 2026 URA financial update.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I think you have your report in front of you. I'm not going to read a lot of it. I'm just going to go through and highlight some points. Kind of give you a synopsis of what's going on. So we're in the middle of year-end closing. So this report is really just a status of what's been going on during the close, like the last 30 days of close. As you go through it, you will see that we're basically in the same position that we was before, that we have a positive surplus. So that is good. As I go through and clean up a lot of stuff, the main thing that we're really going to need to look at is the encumbrances that we have. We got about 1.3 of encumbrances that I need to go through and make sure that they are valid and make sure they're still good. And also you will notice on your report, I added a 12-month trend report that kind of just compared, that's going to be on page 3. And that chart is basically just comparing your revenue versus your expenses that would expense through the last 12 months. So it kind of gives you an idea of how your spending occurred for the last 12 months. And as you go to page 4, it's just the basic, there's a section for revenue trends, observations. Take the time to go through those. Number 4 is the expenditure performance. That'll go through and give you a status of your expenses and things that occurred during the last year. So if you look at number 6, the preliminary year-end conclusion, the fund remains liquid and preliminary positive. So there are no underlying issues or any problems that the authority is going to have. And for the next part, so on page 6, it's just more of just the numbers that you see. You'll see the top one is your operating cash. So you see that you do have money, which is always good. And that report just breaks down the expenses. You'll see your operating expenses and the things that was done year to date. So overall, everything was good for the authority. So the next report on page 7. So I had a conversation with the TI management company as far as getting access to some of their financial statements. And so I've been kind of going through them. So on this report, this is basically a performance and assessment report of what I gathered from their financial statements. I'm just going to kind of go through it a little bit so you kind of get an idea of what's going on. If you see the executive summary, and basically you're losing money on this particular venture. We're losing money. So it's a number of things there. One thing is going to be the rents that we're charging. And then the other part is going to be occupancy. We're at 70% occupancy. So going forward, going to have to make a decision of, you as a board is going to have to make a decision on what you want to do with this. If as you go through and you see your performance dashboard, you'll see the 71% occupancy. The last number that you see, the year-to-date net loss, we're at 643,000. That's year-to-date. So at the current rate that we're going, this is not going to be sustainable, and you're going to have to come up with something, whether sell it or redo it.
It's of course we're gonna be losing money because we just acquired it and we're putting all the money in. So we do have a plan. I hope that we're gonna.
Yeah, oh, we got a plan. Yeah.
But we do have a plan.
It's just, not,
Redevelop and.
yeah.
Plan, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to put that out there that we're losing money because, I mean, of course we're losing money because we had to put money in initially when we got it.
Correct. I'm just telling you what the numbers are telling me.
Thank you. Thanks for color coding it.
Yeah, it's impressive, yeah.
Oh, like the colors, yeah. I like colors too.
Yeah,
Get better and better every.
yeah, I like them.
Yeah. So if you go to page 8, you'll see a revenue analysis. So as you go through it, and you'll see the different sections, and I've also went through and I've highlighted the ones that are favorable and that are unfavorable. So it kind of give you a glimpse of what's going on. You also will see your revenue trend chart. You'll see that there. So it kind of give you a visual of what's going on. Also, going to number 3, there's an expense analysis, which basically give you the same thing. You'll see your chart and you'll see the favorable areas and the unfavorable areas. And as you go to page 10, there are more charts, so you'll be able to actually visually see what's going on. And also with that, if you turn to page 12, I also did a rent roll occupancy assessment. This is really kind of give you a snapshot of what things look like. You'll see that we have 125 units. Out of that, 89 are occupied, 36 are vacant. If you go through, you'll see based on the monthly budget, budget that I've put together, the average unit cost is around $2,000, but we are actually getting $608 based on the occupied occupancy. So basically, this is just really reiterating what we already know. So.
Yeah.
And as you can see on the last page, page 14, you'll see the conclusion there. Like I said, we all know what the situation is, so it's just a matter of what we're going to do. And that's it. This is your tool. This is your tool
Thank you
for
very much.
those future decisions you want to make. Say that again? Yeah.
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 That's not. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Any questions? You know.
Okay, you know how that gets stuck right there. No, so my question has to do really about like the overall finances of the URA. So and I think it's gonna be a part of our agenda that we're gonna talk about. But just looking at the expenses that we incur on a regular basis
Mhm.
and comparatively seeing if this a true expense. Like we're gonna talk about it, and I don't really think this is for you because this is not what you do. This is what we do as a board, just kind of looking at to make sure our expenses are our expenses, if that makes sense. But it has to do with Oasis.
All right. Well, we're gonna talk about that next.
Yeah. Okay.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk in depth about 08 questions or any concerns about Oasis, but I guess this begs another question for me, which you want to see, and we can work with my new friend Tim. I gotta butter him up because I'm asking for something else. But would it be helpful to see a report of your ongoing expenses?
With
Or kind of a trend analysis of your recurring expenses? Because you don't
Yeah,
really have a whole lot of.
Right. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you really don't have a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not. Recurring expenses.
Right. You just have big dollar amount.
Just
Yeah.
big, but one time.
Yeah, it would help, I think.
Yeah. I can come up with something. That's it.
Yeah, that's
All hearts and minds are clear?
kind of clear.
Next up is gonna be the Oasis contract update.
Okay. So in your packet, something that kind of looks a little like this, I'm not sure exactly where in the packet it is. But this came from a conversation from, I believe, last month's meeting, just wanting further detail about your annual contract with Oasis. You do have an on-call contract with them, an annual contract of $65,000 a year. And what we have done is put together a spreadsheet showing each invoice that has been received against what we call a blanket purchase order, or against that $65,000 contract, and showing in detail exactly what work was done. And so I will stop there and just open it up for questions and just need a little bit more guidance as to what the questions are or concerns. And the total amount against your current blanket PO is $61,377.59.
Yeah. So Mr. Chair, if I can. Okay, so if you all, I don't know if you all can see this, but I had questions about the the money that we were being built and what we were paying for. So if you recall Oasis there, the one, if you all don't remember, it's a gentleman that talks about Stevens Lake.
They're your environmental consultants.
It's page 15, 14 and 15, yeah. So yeah, 14, 15. So I'm starting at the bottom. I'm starting at page 15 and looking at the July date. You see that? $3,910. Page 15.
It's on page 15 of his package. or-
Page 15 of the whole agenda page.
Thank you.
So
The screen.
We've also pulled it up
Yeah,
on
I
the
can't
screen if
read that
that's a little bit
screen.
easier.
I have to make it big on my own.
I know.
So
All kind of hard to read.
So remember, we had conversations about Stevens Lake and not wanting to do anything with Stevens Lake and wanting to make sure that, you know, if we're going to do anything with Stevens Lake, it's going to be costs. We're going to see somebody else can help pay for it. It's not just, you know. So when we can continually get these bills and we saying don't do anything else with Stevens Lake, I don't understand why we keep getting billed. So that's my question. So if you look at the description, it talks about the geotechnical drilling of Stevens Lake, but we've done that already in the results. Like, how is this occurring again when we've already paid for it. So to me, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if it makes sense to you all, but go ahead, yeah.
That's February 26th in the detail.
Yeah, but we got billed in July. We got billed again in July. We paid $3,910 for something that was done in February. And then if you look in again in July, we paid another $1,500 for something that was, it doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I was asking.
Like him here.
I think I think that would be the most appropriate thing to do.
Because I'm like, what's the work that you have to do? If we said, don't do anything else, that we're going to cost share, what work are you doing that we're getting billed for?
That same description in the notes is used for,
Mm-hmm.
June 17th, May 19th, and April 20th.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, it's like, I mean,
That's for, 27,
Don't make
14,
sense.
95, 11,
Mm-hmm.
and then 39.
Like
this month. Yeah.
literally a copy and paste.
I just don't get it. I mean, that's why I kind of wanted, like, okay, well, tell me what the specific work that you actually did. Like on, July 1st, we came out here, did whatever. That's what I'm asking for
Mhm.
when I ask for the
Mhm.
description of what you're actually
Mhm.
doing. This right here
Yeah.
doesn't mean nothing. It's like we're paying because we have a contract. And so I'm tempted to say, look, X the contract until we find out why we're being billed.
And the one area where there's no notes is probably where the drilling was done on January 28th.
There's also, I'm sorry, there's also a new invoice for close to $900 for this month.
Yeah, see,
We
like,
just
for
got-
what? Like,
Mm.
what are you doing?
Mhm.
That's my question.
We're going to do something,
We have not. No.
No,
On that basis.
No.
no, I'm talking about approve the contract.
we approved the contract, yeah, we approved the contract, the new contract. But again, the contract is supposed to be on call. We're not supposed to be getting billed unless you actually do work. And that's my question is, what work
Yeah, what work?
have you done
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
that we're being billed for? That's my question.
Yeah, so staff has reached out to Mike Monteleone and Oasis requesting further detail. So we have some of the same questions that you have. You know, the information that you see pulled here is the information that's pulled directly from the invoices. We've asked for further backup in detail and further explanation. They're working on it, but to Attorney Matricardi's point, I think it is appropriate to have them come and present a full update to the board for the September meeting.
Investigate what is the penalty fee for prematurely exiting our contract.
I don't think, do we have a clause that said we can't?
Definitely get out of it. It's just,
Yeah.
the annual reporting, those are the.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to find someone comparable.
Something that doesn't need general consulting.
Because really where we are, and this is what, why I really was in favor of approving the contract, is that we were kind of like on the bottom end of everything. Like we've already gotten rid of everything pretty much. And so we shouldn't be billed we shouldn't be having the same expenses that we had last year because we don't own as much property and we've done all of the work already. Like he tested the soil or tested the whatever and found out there was no
And they
contaminations or
did the
whatever it was.
additional work around the ground
And then
wells and
looking
did
at
additional work
looking
about
at
the brown
fire
field.
station, the
Mhm.
old fire station, we had the grounds
Correct.
tested for that. That's already been done. So
Put the other
why
stuff in the brown
like,
field program.
why are we seeing all this stuff
Mhm.
over and over and over again? Just doesn't make sense.
Okay. I am clear on our direction and next steps. Are there any other questions or additional next steps for staff?
Here for that. Next up in old business is the gun range update.
Range. Yes, so real quick, update on the gun range. We're almost done. The Public Works has gone out and has measured what is called the knee wall. And the knee wall basically is a wall that's being constructed that protects the machines that are holding the targets. in place. Once Brad Monroe, who is building supervisor or building maintenance supervisor, completes that, he will present this to Lieutenant Anderson, who is the gun range master, for his sign off and approval. And from there, they will go forward and buy the materials and then construct the knee wall. That should be the last bit of what needs to happen for the gun range. And then finally, it will be done. So I'm hoping by next month, we can finally report that the complete reorientation of the gun range is complete.
So, quick question. So
Mhm.
after the inspection and then after the report, after the inspection, we'll know if they need anything else from us?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we should be done at that point. This, my understanding is that this is the last piece that needs to
Last
happen
piece.
at the gun range. The
All right.
berm has been moved, everything has been reoriented, the concrete has been poured. It's just matter at this point doing the knee wall.
Okay.
And fortunately, Public Works is handling that work internally.
All right. Any questions on that, anybody? Next up is the Park at Fort Gillem update. Yeah.
Couple of things. Also in your packet, there is a report on the park at Fort Gillem. There are a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. One is the asphalt timeline. So the asphalt, if you'd gone out there a few weeks ago, it looked an absolute hot mess. But rain and wet concrete don't play well with each other. So all of the pop-up storms that we have been having have presented a challenge with getting the asphalt completely redone, because it needs to be dry. But I am happy to report that probably at this point, 90% of the asphalt repairs are complete. They had to go out and, obviously dig out around the all of the potholes, the big substantive, really, craters that were out there. Asphalt has been poured. I was out there 2 days ago, and largely it is done. There's still a small section towards the front that they are finishing, but happy to report. I don't have any pictures, but I have some on my phone. I will send you, but I can most definitely get you pictures.
Yeah,
That's not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
I can get you pictures, but the asphalt is done. The other thing that has been asked, we've talked about the property insurance, and Mr. Lamar has provided a wonderful update, or not so wonderful, but a detailed update about finances in the budget for the park at Fort Gillem. The other two things that I wanted to talk about, we have asked TI Asset to, going forward, to put together a monthly report. Should have this in your packet. I'm not going to read it to you, but there are two things that they want for you to consider. One is looking at turning some more of the vacant units. And so what that looks like, and is there an opportunity or a consideration to do some of the necessary repairs and renovations to some of the vacant units to bring those online to be able to increase the rental income. That's one. The second is there is also a request, I don't know. There's also a request, and if it's not in the packet, if it got missed, I will definitely make sure that we send it to you. The second request is the on-site property manager, Miss Dominique, who works for TI Asset. TI Asset, not to be confused with the rapper, has reached out to us and asked if the URA would consider providing a complimentary apartment. She lives on site and has for a number of years, but asking if the URA board would consider providing a complimentary unit for the on-site property manager. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's actually quite common with on-site property managers, but need to present to the board for your consideration. And the last thing is we are still working with TI Asset Management on terms for a complimentary housing for a courtesy officer, for a Forest Park police officer to serve as an on-site courtesy officer.
Okay. Okay, so
I think we should, if we can, take a moment to pause.
And relook at just how much money we are bleeding on the property. Also, look at how much longer we foresee it will be before we're able to present our desires to some developers so that we can get an idea of how much longer are we actually going to own this.
Yep.
It costs us this much every month to own it.
Mhm.
Would it be beneficial to make a slight investment on getting some more of the units on the market to help cover some of the costs of what we're already paying out in ownership? And Mr. Chair, I see the no shaking, but here's the only thing about that. If we don't know how long we're going to own this, it's already bleeding. And we're just bleeding out and bleeding out and bleeding out. Sometimes you have to spend a little money at the drugstore to cover the wound to get some of the bleeding to calm down. Like, I don't want to just say, no, 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 no. But every month we're still sitting here saying, we're just bleeding, we're just gushing out blood. And I mean, sorry, this great report here just makes me feel like so much can happen with a little, a little more investigation too, because we're already spending money over there with these empty units. That's why they're asking, can we have a free unit for this person and a free unit for that person? And again, none of that is out of the realm of possibility, but the same way we would approach that, we would say, well, do we take something off of their salary to help accommodate their housing? So I don't think we just shut everything down just because we're tired of bleeding, because we're going to be bleeding no matter what until it's not ours. So I'm just saying, I think we should kind of explore some possibilities before we just say, no, 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 no. And I promise I am sick of this property just as much as anybody else. But we still got to have a little more. We want to make sure we're being as wise as possible with what we have until we don't have it. That's just a thought.
Okay, so so the first thing you were asking was to see if we could have possible get something done with the vacant unit, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So I know that I've gotten a couple people who have asked, and I think I may have emailed you
Mhm.
on what the process, or if there is a process
Mhm.
for new people that want to move
Mhm.
in. So I do think that there's something that we need to consider
Mhm.
because we don't know where we are with the other stuff. And I guess they're going to talk about it later. And then the second thing, as far as the person that's on the property, is it for Ms. Dominique that we're talking? She already has her place
She
on the
does,
property,
but
right?
she does
She
pay
pays
rent.
for
She
it.
pays
Oh,
for it.
okay.
And so
Got
what
you.
they're asking is either a reduction on her rent or, giving her a complimentary unit to offset what she makes.
But she's getting paid for what she does, right?
Yes, she is.
I don't know. It's up to you all, but
Mhm.
was she paying before when she was with the?
To my understanding, yes.
And the rent is not going up, right?
Nope, it is not.
It is starting.
That's on site, yes. She's currently living in one.
I can, in their own words,
Units are,
tell you exactly.
38.
What the request is. So they were writing to formally request that the board consider providing Dominique, the property manager at Fort Gillum, with a complimentary on-site apartment as part of her overall compensation package. I'll skip through some of this. Providing a complimentary apartment would help offset the loss of this incentive income. Well, I guess I do need to go back. As you know, management and leasing professionals typically have the opportunity to supplement their income through leasing commissions and renewal incentives. Due to the current pause in leasing activity at the park at Fort Gillum, Dominique has experienced a significant reduction in her overall compensation through no fault of her own. Providing a complimentary apartment would help offset the loss of this incentive income while also recognizing her continued dedication and leadership during a challenging operational period. Her current monthly rent is $695, representing an annual cost of $8,352. In comparison to a permanent salary adjustment, this is a modest investment that would have a meaningful impact on employee retention and morale.
Makes sense. It makes sense at first.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
so,
Better.
yes.
She's still getting a heck of a deal.
Yes. And then as part of the discussion of bringing on some additional or rehabbing some of the additional vacant units, what you also have up here is the proposed rates for the improved units that the current property managers are recommending for your consideration.
So back to what I was saying, I think if we knew what the cost would be to rehab, you know, and of course not trying to go all luxury, but enough to get it on the market. What does it cost to rehab it? Versus how much more income we could get by rehabbing units? If we can get more income than what we spent raw, that would kind of offset at least some of the bleeding, because it's ours. At this point, it's ours no matter what, until we can get rid of it, and we don't know when we're gonna get rid of it.
I think it's about between 25 to 30,000 per unit.
So
Was that what it was?
I think so.
We had a cost report that had that in there. Yeah.
To mind.
Yeah, we had a cost report that had that in there the last session.
So what I can do is go back and get the number of units, because I think that's also an
38.
important consideration of how many units you are comfortable with bringing online, as well as what would be the anticipated cost per unit, the cost per renovation cost per unit. There you go. And bring that back to you.
And I know we don't have a way of knowing how long it's gonna take for us to get some positive private-public partnership information about getting this moving. I know we don't have a timeline that we can stand on.
Well, I'm gonna take a point of privilege and jump ahead, because I believe the next thing on the agenda is the Park at Fort Gillem update, renovation update, redevelopment update. So where we are right now, as you will be reminded, Valentino has done your phase 1 survey. We are working with TSW, who are the same consultants that we worked with for the concept redevelopment plan for 330 Forest Parkway. They're working through the redevelopment concept for the park at Fort Gillem. However, to move forward substantively, we need additional survey work needs to be done. And specifically, it's in your packet, specifically the additional survey work that is needed is a topographic survey, underground utility location, underground utility clause, and then the tree survey, because there are also a number of trees on the property. And as we have been working through kind of what a redevelopment looks like, wanting to try to keep as many of the specimen trees on the site as possible. And so what you have before you, that additional survey work is an additional $47,000. I've negotiated as much as we can negotiate, but the price is the price. And unfortunately, you need to have it done so that we can move forward with what has to happen for the continued redevelopment plans of this property. Once Valentino finishes his work, TSW has already started on redevelopment concept master plan, but there's a point that they can't go but so much further until we know where, what's underground.
Make sure I understand, and forgive me if I have to get it straight in my head. In order for TSW, who is the people that is
Doing
gonna
your whole
give us this whole master plan of
Mhm.
what this possibility is that we can put out the market,
Mhm.
in order for them to do what they have to do.
In complete comprehensive fashion with a real plan that you can truly take to market, we need a complete and exhaustive survey.
Okay, and so the survey Because we have to remove some trees?
No,
and-
not necessarily need to
Okay.
remove the trees. You just need to know where everything is,
Topographic, so it's.
how it dips. There's
Oh.
also a stream that runs along the backside. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, it's very involved.
it's very
Oh.
involved.
What chapter?
Where it dips, where the stream is, where the sewer lines are, where your utilities are buried underneath, except all of that.
okay.
Without that, they can't be like, you could put a building here where you know.
So we didn't have that done when we first.
What you
purchased the
had done,
property?
the initial survey that was done was really more of a boundary survey.
Oh, so the Army didn't give it? No, I'm just kidding.
This is the.
Sadly, no. Trust me, I have looked, dug through a whole bunch of paper. No, we don't have that.
Yeah, 47,000, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, you would have known. And
No.
trust, if we had it, I would not be coming to you to make this request.
No, I was talking about way back in 2014. when
No.
we first acquired the property.
No,
Remember, it was.
it was hand drawn. Exactly. There were no lasers involved, I
Okay.
promise you. Yeah,
Got you.
right. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, so that is part of, we need to get this approved so we can continue, so TSW can continue marching down the road with their orders on
Okay.
going further with the,
So that falls back onto what you're saying. We really don't know how far down the line.
so I would say, and again, I met with TSW, was it yesterday? Thank you. That seemed so long ago. Yesterday, we went out to the site, did a whole bunch of stuff around this, but I would say once Valentino does his piece, for TSW, it's probably going to be a good 6 to 8 weeks for them to be able to come to you with, kind of like they did with 330 Forest Parkway, with here's
Mhm.
concept 1, here's concept 2, here's concept 3. And then from there, it's a matter of, building consensus around, we like this option versus this option.
Mhm.
So I would say you're still probably 6 months before we can be in a place where you truly can take it to market.
So,
And that's
Mr. Chair,
we're being
if
aggressive with the timeline.
if I can go back to what we were talking about before with the rent increase proposal. I have a question about how that would affect the current residents. So I guess there's a proposed rate. Where is it? Right here.
Yes, but
So
that would
there's
be
the
for the
current
new
rate.
units.
And then the proposed rate. And so it's
Created unit.
Those would be for the renovated.
so
units,
so
not
none of the ones that they're currently, just for the ones coming in.
Just
Got you.
the, exactly.
And so the ones that are vacant, are they already ready or have they been
There
worked
are
on?
2 that you authorize that are completely redone.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe both of them are now occupied. What they're asking is to allow them to go forward with the
And do more,
renovations for some
okay.
more of the
So
vacant
that's gonna
units,
cost us more money to get
but
those.
then to be able to bring those online.
Yeah.
So, they're just outdated.
Yeah.
You could, if you wanted, do a month-to-month leases
Mm-hmm.
for those and just not upgrade them.
Yes,
Keep.
thank you. That's what we're doing.
Or, I mean,
Or-
not even the market price.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
Don't renovate
That's what we're doing.
and see what.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So that we can kind of get some money.
I can go back and have that conversation. There are some issues, even with the ones that are currently vacant, there are still some stuff that needs to happen before you can move somebody in. Even if you don't do a full, we're putting in new
Yeah.
flooring and
That's what I wanted
there's
to do. I
still a
want to slow
measure
down the
of
renovations. So we can
some
catch
stuff
up
that's
with
going to need to happen to
what
make
we're
it
doing, yeah.
livable.
So,
So maybe a bare minimum cost is.
Mhm. Yeah, I can get that.
Do we need to make a motion?
To make a motion on
survey.
I do need a motion on the survey.
Manager. And if we want.
Yeah. Do we want to go give her half off or?
What about the police officer?
This is true. What about his rent?
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to vote on your courtesy officer right now. There's still some additional information I'm waiting on. Right now is just on the property manager for
7,000.
your survey.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are gonna reduce her, rent or what have you, does that mean if we decide to go ahead and redo, allow people to be rented, she's gonna get incineration for that? So that,
Right.
that's why I say half.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wouldn't say, I mean, she's only paying $600. I mean, not to be funny, but.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could say maybe give her 50% because,
It's not making very much there.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, property manager makes about
Right.
8 to 10.
that's true.
So if she put 38 units, that's like $2,000 a month.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just want to point that out. I'm not
That's-
saying.
So what's your recommendation?
So what is your recommendation?
Just give it to them, yeah, because, I mean, it's not, they don't cost that much, so she's not gaining a lot.
Okay, so
So what's the
let's back
motion?
up. So let's take what's the motion for the property manager?
Yeah, sure. What's our property manager?
Dominique Clotter.
Dominique Clar.
Clotter.
Clotter. I'm just gonna say Dominique.
That's fine.
Property
Property manager.
I motion to give a unit at the park at Fort Gillum to one of our active property manager.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Taylor, second by Ms. Kimberly. All in favor?
All right. Second one is the approval of the expanded survey for the park at Fort Gillum.
I make a motion that we, the survey cost and. is
47,000.
47,000.
Who is that? Sheree? No, Miss Carter.
Motion by Ms. Kimberly, seconded by Ms. Carter. All in favor?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Motion carried.
Still back up here. Hold on. What else? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna take my whole
New business, Forest Park.
real quick. Yep, so we've talked about work at Fort Gillum, we've talked about property insurance,
Honors.
we've talked about the honors. So in your packet is somewhere in here in your pack is a thank you, is a request from Aerotropolis for a consideration of being a sponsor for their Aerotropolis Honors event coming up, thank you, on September 24th, which is honoring Ed Bastian, of the CEO of Delta Airlines. So I'm bringing this before you for your thoughts or consideration of what you may want to do. There is, yeah, I can't see that. Thank you. I can't.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so presenting sponsor, 15,000, VIP, 7,500, champion, 5,000, signature, 2,500.
If I was available, I would go.
You pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all, what y'all gonna go, at least y'all and one of your guests can go, we can do a table. Right.
24th, what's that date on?
September 24th.
What day is that?
Oh,
September the 24th is a Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me.
I need to make sure that it's not.
It doesn't show the time.
It doesn't show the time. I work it out.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not able to do that.
Thursday,
I would go, but I'm not able to do that. That's a Thursday night.
got it.
We start filming.
The Economic Development Department.
Possibly, and then we can also
we
extend,
can
as we
find
did
that, yeah.
before, an invitation to the mayor
mayor
and
and
to
the
the city
council.
manager and any other council to help fill the table if the board
So what are we talking
not
about?
available.
What?
I think he's at the
8.
Eight.
What do y'all say? No, I'm talking. Signatures, Trump's.
I don't even think enough of us are interested in going to lengthy because
I mean, the city representative type of thing.
Yeah, if we get a table of other city
Yeah.
representatives would go. That's the only damn.
And we still
Get the recognition. I say if we get it, because it looks like the table size is the same
Mhm.
for the champion and the signature. I just say go with the signature.
The signature is,
What's included in the signature?
how much is the signature?
The signature is $2,500.
My
25.
recommendation would not be to do anything above that level.
Get the Aerotropolis website,
Mhm.
the mention of the website.
Mm-hmm.
You can send our city manager, Mr. Gefkin there. City manager.
2 days,
To
September 24th.
to represent. So I make a motion that we approve the honors at the signature level. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kimberly, second by
Yeah.
Ms. Patrick. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy now.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so grapevine update. Ms. Clay, what did I need to talk about with the grapevine? Construction is moving. Still on target, still moving along. This is actually related to the NASA Lifeline mural. Just put it in here. This has been approved by your chair. This is under his chair threshold, just sharing so you know. But the mural continues to move forward. We have
So
worked
this-
out an
this
agreement with
event
Technique.
It's
Mhm.
for, if you drive past the mural site right now, there are 3 RTU units, which are the HVAC units.
Yeah.
And because the roofing isn't done, they can't set the HVAC units on there, but we have to get our mural started. So Technique expensed us the $2,276 for the crane rental for them to move the units because it couldn't be moved with the forklift or anything like that, as it would bring damage to the units.
Unfortunate set of circumstances, but yeah, necessary.
Yep. But construction still continues to move forward, and on time. Still looking at a late fall, October, really more November, December, completion for, the full build out, of the construction portion. And then from there, we'll move into FF&E, which is furniture, I'm about to say fixins. Thank you, that, and equipment. We are starting to work through right now, the RFP. We don't need to discuss this right now, but one of the things that I do need you to start thinking about, we're going to bring this back to you at your September meeting, is how you want to move forward with operating the building, operating Grapevine. And so do you want to sell it? Do you want to lease it out to a operator? There are a couple of ways in which we can look at the operations of this, but needing, and we'll come back with a full presentation of kind of some pros and cons about how to structure and do this. But we need to make some determination on that sooner rather than later as we start to craft the RFP. Because we soon will be at the stage of we need an operator and then needing that operator to help land tenants in the space. So
I have a question.
So right here.
The with the people that want to rent or be in there. So there's a particular person that I know of. She is employed with the high school, but she has a food truck, but she has a building in Jonesboro that she rents, and she's don't want to renew her rent because she wants to kind of move to Forest Park, and it'll be an opportunity for them to do workplace learning and all that kind of stuff. So with that, with an owner operator or with someone operating or whatever, will she have an opportunity to present
yes,
her thing to whoever that is? 'Cause
absolutely.
I know the concept of the Grapevine was for local business owners,
Definitely.
entrepreneurs to come in or whatever. And so I don't want to lose that
Most definitely not.
in the process.
Yes, 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 yes. And that is one of the things is we're starting to craft that RFP and looking at, we've already had a series of meetings with several different structured potential owner operators or operators for Grapevine and what that looks like. But the thing that we have been laser focused with all of them is that, local, hyper local is what we're looking for in terms of who ultimately is going to be in that space, regardless of what the back end management structure is that you as a board decide to go forward with. So yes. So that's all I got about Grapevine right now. Any other questions? And we're still waiting on our CDBG grant money
money.
to our reimbursement check to come in. So I will let you know as soon as it comes, me and Tony.
Next up, perpetual easement.
Yeah. Oh, wait, skip one.
No,
Let me,
I'm sorry.
Forest Parkway, this is that
Forest
Brightview. Go back.
Landscape.
Go back. The 330 Forest Parkway Landscape
Landscape.
Services. So Brightview. I know it's. So Brightview currently has the landscape contract for the URA. They do all of your landscaping out at Gillum. Now that the boundary expansion is complete, we also now need to start maintaining in a more frequent way the landscaping at 330 Forest Parkway. Fortunately, it's not a lot per se, but as you can see in the proposal that they have put together, there is a fair number or a fair amount of initial cleanup that needs to happen. There's a lot of weed and debris overgrowth that is slowly inching across the property that needs to be addressed. The full contract is here for you. And they kind of detail a very, very detailed contract as well as current state of the property. You can scroll, I think, to the next slide. Yep, showing you what the property currently looks like. You can see the overgrowth that is starting to take over all of the asphalt that needs to be addressed, and we don't want to get cited by code. So what this looks like is monthly. This would be about $643 every month as a maintenance of that site and the area and the perimeter around it. Yearly, that's about $7,716. And so what I'm asking for is approval to move forward with the landscape proposal from Brightview to take care of additionally your property at 330 Forest Parkway.
So does that 600 a month include?
It's at the bottom now.
On page that is.
Does it like the pre-work? Like
Yeah,
all
this
the-
will take care of them going in and doing what they need to do the first time, and then from there they will maintain it monthly.
So that's my question. So with the 643,
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna do the bulk of the work in the initial, why would it be 643 the next one? Like you won't have as much work to do after you do the bulk. I mean, is that how they're charging?
Probably the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've exactly. They've basically taken it and stretched it out over a 12-month cycle. This also includes not only the cutting and the edging and the blowing and all that stuff, but also the weed control herbicide stuff that they would need to spray in between the cracks of because it's largely thank you.
Yeah.
It's largely concrete, but the issue is that all of the stuff that grows in between the concrete.
And that's removal and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They have it listed as weekly when really it being a concrete is bi-weekly.
It's at best.
I mean, that's 2 times a month for 643. I don't know what the contract is or.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I can see
That's a lot.
fee.
It is.
And then it also says that it does not include any tree removal.
No.
But the cool part about it, you don't have to request any tree removals as of yet while it's still empty.
Mm-hmm.
We don't move until we're ready to develop.
It's a full asphalt parking though.
Yeah. I see a tree right now. It needs to be moved, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, to me, once the the cleanup is done and treated or whatever, it should not take a lot to maintain it.
Okay, so what we can do is we can go back and request an amendment or, to the contract. I'm happy to do that. And get a price for what is the initial cleanup versus can we look at what is this going to be?
Well,
We can get another quote from them.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can definitely do that.
We got
All right,
September
we
30th,
can,
but we don't know how.
Years.
right.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't take the first offer.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. All right, so we can go back, not a problem. Any other questions about landscaping for 330 Forest Parkway? No?
Say, what'd you say?
I said any other
Any other
questions?
question about that?
All right.
Next up, perpetual easement for ingress and egress.
Yeah, so in your. Sorry,
That's page 68.
thank you.
Yep.
All right. So in your packet, this is another ingress, egress from Georgia Power. There's 4 of them. And this is all related to the park at Fort Gillem. Digital Realty. This is all around the substation off of on Flankers Road. And basically it is asking for ingress, egress to the area, and it's a gate infrastructure. Yeah. They're all the same. Attorney Matricardi, is there anything that you want to?
I don't see the exhibit in the packet. Maybe.
Oh, it may have. Let's see.
Yeah.
Did the exhibit not come?
Yeah.
No. Don't. Don't see it. It was, I never did it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they.
I don't think that there was. I don't remember there being an attachment with these,
Okay, well.
other
they
than
need
this. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So
You
we
know.
will table this conversation. So we need to go back because I'm realizing that the attachment,
Wait,
do you see it?
there is one on the. What they sent. It's just not, it's a separate document. It's gonna be the new road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's gonna be utilities go off the road,
Mm-hmm.
that brand new road that's gonna end, and then digital road is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right back over. It's not in
Oh, the new.
Not
road.
in your packet.
my email. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new road. We had so much trouble trying to build.
Do what?
That's the, yeah, okay.
And,
Yeah, so Kroger is here and
Mhm.
the parcel is here.
Mm-hmm.
So the road is coming through the URA land. And then going through, and then it ends in a roundabout. Oh, okay. And so they're asking for easements to install utilities along.
Along the,
On the
yep,
side of the road.
yep. Literally, when you go back there, it is just like that. It's not, it kind of goes like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
and we bypassed the other piece of it.
Yep.
Oh, is that what, is that what? Oh, I gotta go look at that. No, I didn't know this, yeah. I gotta go look at it.
Motion, to approve the perpetual easements for egress for Georgia Power Lakers Road.
I motion to approve the perpetual easement for ingress and egress by Georgia Powers on Flankers Road.
Yes.
And it's 3 included easements. Thank you.
I'll second.
Ms. James, all in favor? Motion carried.
The little stack over here, so.
US. Next up is US Army 5-year review.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
I didn't put hand, I think I just put it up here. So, the last, next to the last.
Anybody gonna drink this? It's okay.
There's no action. This is just a FYI for you. The first is the U.S. Army 5-year review. There's a copy of it in your packet for your light bedside reading. But just making you aware, there is a 5-year questionnaire interview form for property owners that we are working through right now. It's pretty standard. We've done this before, but just making you aware that we have this report and this 5-year questionnaire. So staff is working through the answers to these questions. Nothing has generally changed from the last time that we did this. But we will get this done and provide this back to the United States Army. And of course, we'll make a copy available to the URA board. And then the next thing, I'm going to skip over the joint retreat since I'm still talking about the Army. The other thing with the Army is the annual institutional control report. It's big. This is really light bedside reading, pretty thick,
74.
but there's a final report in here that details land deed restrictions, land use control, their inspection, their findings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, but this is just information for you for your review and perusal if you would like, but just providing this information as we are required to do. We did have, and I think I shared this with you at the last meeting, Tom Lanier and Heather with BRAC were here in July. Yeah, last month. We're here in July for their annual Army Day visit. So we spent some time just meeting with them, talk through with the Corps of Engineers that came up from Savannah about ground wells and just Gillum as a whole. And then went and did a walking tour of the property, but all is still good and remains well. So just wanted to provide this as this report to you for your records. So any questions about that? I'm gonna talk real quick about the joint board retreat. So yay, everybody has now successfully completed their retreats. Y'all were first back in March. The Development Authority had their retreat in June, I believe it was. And then the DDA had their retreat just last month. So now that all of the boards have had their retreat, Catherine Lakowski, who you all know, was super excited that we were able to get her to facilitate all 3 boards retreats. We are making headway in looking at potential dates for an October joint retreat of all 3 boards. So once staff, there's a little bit more due diligence that staff needs to do with Catherine to determine dates of her availability. Once we have that, then we can come back and we'll do it as a doodle poll to determine a date that potentially can work for everybody. We are looking at a Friday as an all-day retreat. Someplace offsite, local, but offsite. And no, we probably will not be going back to Stone Mountain, but we had the Development Authority did theirs here in council chambers. The DDA did their retreat at the Junior Achievement Center over at the new Convocation Center, which was absolutely spectacular. It was just freezing cold. So if we go back there, everybody needs to bring a Snuggie and a blanket, and because it's really, really, really cold. But looking at a potential date, hopefully October. So more to come about that very soon. So any questions, or if you have known blackout dates that will not work for you in October, maybe into even early November, please share those with myself or Devalda so we can start narrowing in on a potential date.
October 9th and 10th is out. That's
October 9th and 10th is completely out. That is Blues on Main weekend, so. Hmm?
one day.
One day, we're looking, potentially looking at a Friday that's a little bit easier, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
to pull everybody, and a little bit easier to do it at the end of the week, so. And of course, being mindful of fall break and all of the other holidays that go on, and so trying to avoid any.
Because I'm off work.
No, okay, well, there you go. Okay. Nah. All right. Any questions?
No.
Nope. All right. Last thing, I promise.
Economic development update.
All right. So the economic development update, I am by no means going to read all this to you. Just know that we've got a whole bunch, because it's long, that has gone on in the Office of Economic Development. A couple of things I want to highlight. I think no, I have not seen y'all. So 794 Main Street sold. That property was owned by the Development Authority. It's right there on Main Street. That is now going to be the expansion of the Georgia Utility Contractors Association, their headquarters and their training facility. So that property sold on July 22nd. So expecting plans to be walking in fairly soon, and dirt turning probably within the next four-ish months.
794, is that, where's that exactly?
It's right there on the corner of, what is that, Lake and Main. Lake and Main. So super excited about that. Still waiting to hear on the status of 770 Main Street, which is the Presswick development. That's the 60-unit mixed-use development, right down from 696 across from Bill Lee Park. We are expecting a decision on the DCA tax credits come October. We are also working through a number of things, and I'm not going to read all of these. But 868 Forest Parkway, that is the little food mart that sits right there at Forest Parkway and Ash Street, or College Street, what? Yeah, that. So that property is owned by the DDA. We are going forward with right now reviewing proposals to white box it, which basically means renovating, retrofitting it for lease. We do have a tenant that is very interested in that space, looking at it as a retail space, and very excited about potential for redevelopment plan and being able to bring that online as leasable space. Also looking at the old Carter's Cleaners. We also have a local, he's actually a boutique dog food company right here in Forest Park. But his service area is primarily Buckhead and the north side, and he does deliveries and has reached out. We're kind of working through with him right now about design standards and district permitted uses. But very interested in looking at the old Carter's Cleaners and a redevelopment of that site, particularly as a boutique retail space for his dog food company. So, and this is like the fancy stuff that I cook my baby. So anyway, it's gonna be, I think will be lovely. Couple other things I want to point out. We had our second annual job fair this morning. If you weren't there, you missed out. It was absolutely spectacular. We had 27 employers and resources on site. In addition to, I think we had about 400 people pre-registered, and we had close to about 250 that actually showed up today. There were some tears that were shed and lots of hugging. It was absolutely a wonderful and beautiful morning. Staff is a little tired because we've been here since 7. But it really was absolutely spectacular. So we brought this year a couple of new elements to the job fair. We brought in a resource fair. So we had our employers on one side and then more of the resources on the other. So say, for example, Clayton County's adult education department was there. So it's like, I need a GED. Well, here's the program that you need to talk to. We also brought, through our partners with Clayton County Chamber of Commerce, a live on-site resume workshop experience. And we allowed people to sign up for slots, and they could sit down for about 15 minutes at a time and have their resume evaluated and provide to them real, change this, here's a recommendation on maybe you want to do this instead. And so the feedback was absolutely spectacular. So I think we hit on something magical, and we'll definitely do that again. And then finally, we brought in a small business pop-up experience. So one of the, and she is local to Forest Park, her name is Fresh Vibes. She makes custom homemade fresh pressed juices. She is actually the tenant that we are potentially looking at to do a partnership with for the old food mart. But we had her on site. She provided complimentary samples of an array of all of her fruit juices that she makes here. It was a great opportunity for her to meet the community and the community to start to meet her. And beautifully for her, she walked out with 2 new event opportunities here in the city of Forest Park. So very excited about that. Plans for the redevelopment of 850 Main Street continue. That property is currently owned by the Development Authority, though there may be a little bit of swapping with the DDA. We met on, was that yesterday too? Yeah, that was yesterday too. With a security company that is actually very interested in assuming potentially the top floor of the building. She has 14 locations for her security company. This would be the 15th. But this would also be not only a security office or an expansion of her services, but it would also be a training facility. So very excited about the potential that that offers for our community. She already has relationships with the Army Navy store next door and the tactical shop, because that's where they get all of their stuff. And she was able to show up to our job fair today, and she too I tell people all the time, I'm a super connector. I know how to connect people to people and stuff to stuff. So very excited. A number of projects in development, in the pipeline. Again, I'm not going to read through all of this because it is long. Still working through with Digital Realty, the tax abatement, that is the data center coming to Gillum that was referenced earlier. Will be coming to the DDA because the tax abatement would come through them. So the tax abatement and the community benefits agreement are nearing finalization, and we're hoping that by September, is that right, Danielle? September is our date to have both completely done. And as we're working through that, also working through the early planning stage of what an expanded comprehensive town hall would look like, but want to make sure that we don't put the cart too far before the horse. Need to get the tax abatement done, need to get the community benefits agreement completely done, and then we can go forward with a full town hall. And I think that is it. There's one other thing I do want to talk about. So Governor's Glen, there is a proposed redevelopment of that senior community. They have approached the Development Authority for a bond inducement, et cetera, et cetera. So we're working through that right now, but it would be a full renovation and redevelopment of the existing property. And they've kind of got a really good process of how they move tenants out during the period that renovation is happening and then moving them back in. But as we continue to work through the particulars of that, of course, I will keep you posted. And then finally, the thing that I want to share with you, we do have a number of ribbon cuttings next Friday.
Yes, next
Thank you.
Friday, the ribbon cutting for MLK Fish and Chicken, 1105 Main Street. They're one of the new tenants in the Jasper Plaza. Will be on next Friday, the 21st at 11:30 to 1. There will be employee discounts, free samples, free purchases, free lemonades with every purchase. Hope to see you all there. I'll add it to your calendars.
Absolutely. And then the final thing that's in your packet is just for more detail, if you ever want to know all the things that the Office of Economic Development is doing, there is also a report in here that talks about all of the BRE interactions that Ms. Clay has done over the month of June and July of all the businesses that have been visited. We've put lots of miles on our feet and on our little hamster car that we have for our department. Business retention and engagement. Yep, business retention and engagement.
Director Dennis, can I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
If anyone knows any young professionals between 21 and 40 who need guidance or are looking for networking opportunities, the Chamber of Commerce has established let me get it right, Clayton County Youth Professionals Advisory Board. And we're launching next month at the September Chamber event at the rooftop. I'm one of the advisory members, so if you know anyone who needs mentorship or leadership between 21 and 40, we'll be there. Let me know. I want to get you guys connected. Thank
I
you.
love how they consider 40 youth, but
Yeah.
okay. Oh, and then scroll up for me. There is also in your the other way. In your packet, there is a rendering, there you go. A rendering of the proposed build for the expansion of GUCA, the Georgia Utility Contractors Association on Main Street. And this will be more or less a 0 lot line build, so they're building right up to the sidewalk. So very modern and new and different for our community, and super excited. And that's all I got for tonight. So we have accomplished a lot. So any other questions for me? No?
Any other questions? No questions, the meeting's adjourned.
Oh, all right.